My Lords, I thank the Noble Lord McConnell for securing this debate and start from the point made by the Right Reverend Prelate, the Bishop of St Albans, that no one is safe until everyone is safe, as has so been acutely brought home by COVID. And to be more specific about that, looking at the Omicron variant, the current science suggests that it probably arose in someone who was immune compromised, untreated for HIV. That really is a demonstration of how healthcare systems in the world are absolutely crucial to the health of all of us. Even more broadly, no one is secure. We cannot be secure until everyone in the world is secure. And our failed foreign policies, our role as one of the chief arms peddlers in the world, our refusal to accept the rightful desire of self-determination from peoples around the world, have put the world in the position it is today, us in this position. And I commend particularly the speech of the Noble Lord Seeker. We have to stop being the world's chief enabler of corruption. This is a neo-colonial continuation of the colonial exploitation that made so much of the world so poor. And I'll address particularly the comment of the Noble Lord Desai, suggesting that it's not up to us to cure poverty. First of all, it's up to us to stop causing poverty with the actions of our institutions and our companies. And I would say it's surely up to us to repair some of the damage we continue to do and have done in the past, both through overseas development assistance and through, I would say, reparations. Now, it's obvious that the need for the strategy that we're all anxiously awaiting and previewing today is more acute in these times of straitened ODA budgets. It's estimated this year we're down to about £11 billion from nearly £15 billion the year before. Now, like other Noble Lords, I'm sure, I received a number of briefings from major institutions in the UK making entirely well-founded special pleadings. The Noble Lord McConnell and Noble Lord Oates have already referred to the Mines Advisory Group issues and the fact that there's been a 75% cut in funding in that area, which is absolutely unconscionable. The Royal College of Obstetricians and Gynaecologists, picking up points made by the Noble Lady Baroness Sugg, talking about the slashing of sexual and reproductive health, talks about saying we should have at least 5% of the budget going to mother and baby health. Save the Children points out the particular issue of bilateral aid to Africa, which is at 15-year low in real terms, likely to fall below that of most of the G7, and asks, and I would be interested in the Noble Lord the Minister's comments on this, that poverty reduction should be the chief aim there in the strategy. Sightsavers makes a really important point about the need for disability-inclusive development. So in introducing all of this, the Noble Lord McConnell said, well, this is not about the budget, it's about how we use the budget. But I'm afraid this has to be about the budget because we cannot meet even the most urgent, crucial priorities that we have in the current framework. Now, I believe even that the Noble Lord the Minister might well love to go back to the department and say more money for ODA, but I realise the barrier he faces with that. So I've got a proposal that I will ask him to take back, a different proposal to just more money. And this is a proposal that doesn't come from me. It's a proposal that comes from more than 50 Nobel laureates who this week signed an open letter calling for what they call a peace dividend campaign, calling for all countries to cut their military spending by 2%, just 2%, a year for the next 5 years, and to put half of the money into a UN fund to combat pandemics, the climate crisis and extreme poverty. Now, just to name a couple of the UK signatories for this, there's Sir Roger Penrose, UK mathematician, philosopher of science and physics laureate, the biologist and Cambridge University professor, Sir Venki Ramakrishnan, and the Dalai Lama, I'll note, is also a signatory. Now, this fund, they say, could amount to $1 trillion by 2030. Now, if we actually look a little bit at the numbers in this, currently UK defence spending is about £50 billion. I think that you have to say when you look at that figure that the NHS, which is about £200 billion, is remarkably good value for money. But if we took the 2% from the UK defence spending, $1 billion a year, it wouldn't be an utterly transformatory amount, but it would go a long way, particularly in the kind of priority areas that the NGOs have been making such powerful representations to us about. It would be a 10% increase in the budget. Now, Green Party policy, I have to say, is 1% of GDP, about £20 billion for the official development assistance budgets, which would meet most of the most urgent priorities. But I finish by stressing that all of this is a relative drop in the ocean compared to the damage we continue to do every day. And we have to really look at our place in the world. And we often hear from the government saying it wishes to be world-leading. Well, here's a very practical example that I hope the Noble Lord the Minister will take back at least and ask for a discussion about, of how we could be truly world-leading in stepping up to the peace dividend, but also, and perhaps this is outside the hands of the Noble Lord the Minister, but every government minister perhaps could ask themselves over this festive season what they could do to make the world a better place, to make everybody in the UK more secure and safer in 2022.